Hello, I'm Sarah Milliken, one of the authors of this course. Welcome to Module 13, Urban Agriculture. There are many forms of urban agriculture, including community gardens and allotments. In this module, however, we are going to focus specifically on commercial food production in indoor urban farms using soil-less cultivation techniques. We're going to look at the various different types of farms, which may be on top of or inside buildings, or indeed in purpose-built freestanding buildings. We're then going to consider aspects of the sustainability of these farms in terms of their environmental impact and their economic costs, and also explore ideas of how urban farming is well placed to employ principles of the circular economy. We will briefly look at pertinent legislation and governance related to urban farming, before concluding with an in-depth look at the different kinds of urban agriculture business model. These will be illustrated by case studies of urban farming startup successes and failures. Over the course of the module, you are going to develop a concept for a commercial indoor urban farm to grow fresh, local produce. You will develop your ideas in a series of distinct stages and will receive feedback along the way. At any time during the process, you can change your mind about the produce you will grow, your target customers, your unique selling proposition or USP, in other words, what makes your product stand out from that of your competitors, and the type of system and type of farm you will use. At the end of the module, you will upload your final concept and the justifications for your choices to your e-portfolio. We're going to start by looking at the different types of commercial indoor urban farms. These may either be on the building envelope, for example on the rooftop or facade, to take advantage of the availability of natural light, or they may be indoors using artificial light. They could also be freestanding buildings. In all of these, the growing parameters are controlled. This is known as controlled environment agriculture, which combines horticultural and engineering skills in order to optimize crop production, crop quality, and production efficiency. The first type is the rooftop greenhouse. The rooftop is an ideal location for growing plants in dense cities, as these spaces are often unused. And lightweight hydroponic greenhouses do not necessitate any significant structural reinforcement of the host building. We will examine a number of case studies in North America and Europe where rooftop greenhouses are used to grow quite significant quantities of local fresh produce. Rooftop greenhouses also offer possibilities for exploiting synergies with the host building in the form of water, energy and gas flows. This can lead to a reduction in operating costs and greater environmental sustainability. Vacant urban lots also provide opportunities for freestanding greenhouses, and we will look at a couple of examples of these. The concept of vertical farming was introduced in 2010 by Dixon Despommier in his book The Vertical Farm: Feeding the World in the 21st Century. Vertical farms may be located in a greenhouse or inside a building and use various different technologies to grow plants on a vertical plane in order to maximize yield in relation to the surface area of the production unit. Vertical farms could also be in the form of purpose-built skyscrapers, sometimes called sky farms. However, such utopian visions have yet to come to fruition. This is due in large part to the fact that such projects are not economically feasible. Plant factories are a type of closed plant production system in which ventilation is kept at a minimum and artificial light is used as a sole light source for plant growth. The environment can be controlled as precisely as desired, regardless of the weather. We will look at case studies of urban farming companies in North America and Europe which grow their produce in plant factories. Vertical farms can also be operated in greenhouses in order to take advantage of natural light. The environment is therefore only semi-controlled. Another emerging trend in the field of urban farming is container farms, which also employ vertical farm technology. Equipped with state-of-the-art climate control technology and hydroponic growing towers or stacked NFT channels, container farms allow for year-round production and can be installed on vacant lots or on rooftops. Supplying urban populations with locally grown food is widely viewed as a more resource-efficient alternative to the conventional supply chain, using food grown in peri-urban or remote rural locations. Indoor soilless cultivation in urban areas is portrayed as a particularly sustainable solution by reducing food miles, minimizing land use and water consumption, and improving yields. However, to ensure optimal growing conditions for the crops, controlled environment farms all rely on the artificial control of light, temperature, humidity and water cycles, and can therefore be highly energy intensive, depending on local climatic conditions and the specific characteristics of the host building. The carbon emissions of urban farms should therefore be carefully weighed against potentially reduced emissions, such as those from transporting food from rural and peri-urban farms. The elevated economic costs of urban farms, both in terms of infrastructure and operational costs, also need to be carefully assessed before undertaking such a venture. The circular economy is currently one of the most discussed terms among environmental economic scientists and is a focus of the European Union Horizon 2020 strategy. Its core defining element is the restorative use of resources. Instead of becoming discarded waste, raw materials are recycled and reused. Urban agriculture offers various possibilities for embracing this approach by closing waste, resource and energy loops. A range of factors, such as existing urban layout, perceptions and attitudes towards the use of urban space, and the prevalent political climate, all operate at the city-specific level to influence the development of urban agriculture. In most countries in the global north, there is no independent category for urban agriculture in municipal zoning plans, as agriculture has historically been regarded as a rural activity by urban planners. The urban agriculture sector is therefore characterized by bottom-up initiatives, which are informal and non-institutionalized. Urban agriculture is generally considered to be the responsibility of local governments, but since a formal framework is often missing, support at local government level has a tendency to be informal and fragmented. We will examine two cities, Paris and New York, where proactive steps have been taken to promote urban agriculture. In the final section of the module, we will look at urban agriculture business models. There are 5 main types: differentiation, diversification, low cost, reclaiming the commons, and experience. From a business management perspective, urban farming is atypical. In business management, it is a golden rule that a company's strategy should be based on one clear-cut revenue model. For urban farming, however, a mixture of business models may be a good foundation for survival. The rise of urban agriculture has led to a plethora of startups, not just of urban farms, but also of suppliers of equipment and consultancy. Some of these have grown into very successful companies. We will look at a number of case studies of these startups in North America and Europe and examine their business model. Most urban farms focus on growing high-value produce, such as microgreens and mushrooms. However, there are many alternative premium products that it might be worth experimenting with. Quality products and processes are of great importance. but they will not decide a company's success or failure. A company's fate increasingly depends on its ability to apply the appropriate, innovative business model that differentiates it from its competitors. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy this module.